Thank you, John. Then we have now the endorsement of the minutes of the previous General Assembly in Amsterdam 2019. You all received it and it's possible to read it on the website. Any questions? No questions? Then I will thank our Secretary General for making them. Then we go to the presentation, of the activity report. And I will kindly give my word to Theodore. Is it here somewhere or do we have to switch? Sorry? Do we have to switch now?
No, I hope it's working.
No, you should come back at some. No.
It's great. So
We have to ask Greg now. This is too fast.
activity plan.
No, activity report. Report.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you for coming at this General Assembly. Do you hear me? Thank you for coming at this General Assembly and refreshing seminars. You know that we had one challenging year. Thank you for coming to this General Assembly and refresher seminars. You know that we had one challenging year. But the board made efforts this year to be successful. As you know from the previous year, we decided to have board meetings on Skype, and we tried to reduce the in-person board meetings. And of course, this is connected with the expenses of the club. We had 10 board meetings, one in person in Amsterdam, and before and during the General Assembly in Amsterdam, and the others, they were on Skype, and I would say it's working quite well. It's time-consuming, it's convenient for the people, and it gives results at the end. The minutes from the board meetings you can find on our website in section IJOC documents. So if you're curious what we discuss, you can find everything. We try to publish the minutes from the board meetings immediately when they are approved. In 2019, we had 3 working groups: rule changes, webinars, and strategic planning. In February, we sent you an email with you to provide us your proposals for rule changes. We will do the same this year. So be active and share your opinion about the possible rule changes. What is the procedure later? We sent these proposals to the working group, chaired by John Doney, with members René Billardon and Maria Hernek. And then they provide their proposals to the board, and the board approves them, and we send them to the FEI. Maybe you saw that many of these proposals, 15 proposals, they were implemented in 2020 rulebook. Please send your proposal for the next year if you have proposals. Webinars, I had honor to chair this group. Last year we shared our ideas, what is the webinar, how it should be. We had 2 Skype meetings. The challenge was that we had to ask for permission from FEI to run this kind of activity. There were some obstructions, but hopefully after consultation process with FEI, this was approved by the jumping committee, and I really would like to thank to Stefan Ellenbruch, who made efforts this decision to pass. At the moment, you know that FEI campus is really developed, and they have a lot of ideas how they can improve it, and we will find a way to cooperate with them and to see how we can do, because the permission is given, but the content of the webinar should not be in conflict with the FEI campus content. So, and it should not cover the same topics. So we will try with FEI together to find a way to run it. Strategic Planning Group, it's chaired by Eric Strauss. They already had some meetings. The results of this working group, they are working on Canvas business model. And in 2020, we expect their proposals, because 2020 will be also challenging. Later on, I will try to explain you why when I made my presentation for activity plan for next year. Rule changes, 15 rule changes were sent to FEI. They were in the jumping rules and veterinary proposals. When I say jumping rules, they also cover some stewards' issues. Webinars I already explained. We know that we receive many, not complaints, but at least some people, they ask we to be more active outside Europe. The board decided to organize seminar in America, in Canada. And Eric did a lot of efforts. He was in contact with the Canadian and with the American national federations. I would say everything was negotiated, the venue, we had the budget, because FEI has a new system for application for courses. You have to send the dates, the format, budget of the event, so it's quite complicated procedure. So we were ready. And at the day when I supposed to send the documents to FEI, Eric received information that more or less on the same dates, American Federation will organize seminar. And then I'm really sorry for the efforts which Eric did, and I would say we were quite disappointed, because the federation was informed at least 3 months before, and they didn't declare that they will organize these seminars. So as you see, we tried some efforts. Unfortunately, the efforts, they do not respond to the result. Enrique Rey was in contact with the Mexican Federation. So we also have some steps in this direction. Election 2020. Last year, during the General Assembly, some proposals came how to make the process more transparent and the people to give them a chance to present their ideas, because if you read the motivation letters of the candidates, sometimes they do not cover all the picture. And we try to use the modern technology, and now they are not so expensive. So we gave a chance of the candidates to present their videos with statements and to present their ideas. And I'm really happy. Do you know how many times this page was visited? We have more or less a little bit more than 300 members. And the page was visited more than 900 times. It doesn't mean that every video was watched 900 times, but statistics shows that some of the videos were watched around 150 times, so which is good. Why? Because some of the people, they are not so recognizable, so they are young, and we try to give them a chance. There was a discussion, is it good or not, because some of the candidates, maybe they can present them better than the others, but at the end, sorry, but this is like to apply for a job. You have to present, you have to sell yourself, you have to present your ideas. And the format with this 3-4 minutes video, I don't know what is your opinion, but at least the outcome which came is positive. So we will continue in this direction. The number of the members, it's slightly lower than the last year. We have 312 members. This is at 31st of December. Now it's a little bit higher. 61 countries are presented, and here you can see the distribution of the countries. Strategic partnership. In our plan last year was to develop this strategic partnership. And for our plan for 2020, you will see why this is important. We are not the only stakeholders of FEI, and we have to work together with the other ones. The club was presented during the FEI Sport Forum. It was presenting during the EEF General Assembly, FEI General Assembly, and International Jumping Riders Club meeting. I would say maybe this was the most interesting or exciting. We are very happy that as club we were invited at 2 meetings organized by FEI. Consultation roundtable in Lausanne and jumping committee meeting in Barcelona. Jumping consultation roundtable, one of the topics which we discuss is how to bring young officials to the sport. We know that this is a serious issue, and we are very happy that we succeeded to share our ideas with the other stakeholders, and this is one of our priorities for 2020. Experience program. I don't know why, but the number of the application was a little bit lower than the previous years. And I really would like to thank to Jane Pelly because she made the efforts, these people, to have opportunity and to take part in some shows. Unfortunately, they didn't receive financial support from FEI, so practically they cover their own expenses, which shows that many people, they have desire and, of course, and possibility to develop themselves and to get experience. Live streaming, even now, like last year, we broadcast these events. Maybe you know that later on Facebook you can rewatch them. So it's not necessary to watch them only live, and most of the videos, later on they are published on our website. The website, it's still the main communication tool which we try to develop and to make it more attractive for the people. You see from which city, from which countries the website was visited. President blog, this is another platform which we use to our president to communicate with you. IJOC website, I would like to tell you a few words about it. You know that we have annual membership, but on the website we provide you access until the 31st of March, the year after when your membership is expired. Why? Because many people, they pay their membership, but they do not renew the subscription. When you pay your membership, please, if you don't make it via the website, please go on the website and renew it. When you pay by PayPal, because we receive the money automatically, then the subscription is automatically activated. But if you apply with offline payment, for example, with bank account, with bank transfer, then I have to approve this transaction, and then your subscription is activated manually. And because many of you pay here during our General Assembly or during the seminar, please, when you go at home, activate your subscription for the next year. Otherwise, you will not have access to the website, at least to some of the content which is limited. This is case studies and videos at the moment, but maybe in future we will make more content which will be protected. Why? To give value to the members. YouTube channel is something that we launched this year. At the moment we have 25 videos. And last thing which take a lot of our time, the organization of this event. I hope that you enjoy it. You see that it was a little bit different format than the last years, but the most important was to make this CSS assessment very successful. Because also for FEI, for course directors, it's very challenging to have online exams with 120 participants. Yesterday we had more or less 70. And the club invested a little bit more money than usual to provide really good internet, to provide power connectors, to provide the room like a classroom, to make it more convenient for you, because we knew that it will be difficult for the first year. And we really made efforts to make it successful and to show that we can run these seminars. Otherwise, they are exposed to risk. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions? Sorry. Microphone.
I can do the question for you, because you asked if you have to do something after you paid here to renew your subscription, and you have to log into your website, log inside, sign in, and you have to, on the page of where you have your details, you click on subscription and you tell that you paid cash here and you renew it.
It was cashless event, so just to note.
Oh yeah, but you paid with a card here. That's cash. Yes, I just did it myself now.
So we have an expert. If you have any questions, please, Karsten is the man who can answer. So
I can help you. I can be, yeah.
Found it. Okay, great.
Otherwise, I can be support in the break.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I noticed on the world map that Great Britain was in darker blue than the rest of Europe. Just like to tell you that we are staying in Europe. We're going to have Brexit, but we are staying in Europe.
This has nothing to do with Brexit. I hope next year you to be again in dark blue, and the reason is because when it's darker, this means that we have more visits from there. So I don't know. I hope you to have internet after the Brexit and to continue to use the website. So I don't know how it will work. Okay. Any other questions? But please don't mention Brexit.
Don't mention the word.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Theodore. Thank you, Theodore. You've done a wonderful job, not only making the activity plan and working with the activity plan, but also organizing this course or / refresher. So thank you very much. And I would like to ask you for the endorsement of the activity plan of 2019. Thank you. Okay, then the next thing on the program is the presentation of the accounts, and would like to give the word to our treasurer, Anna Lindqvist. Do you have the accounts already?
It should be here, I think.
Yeah. You get Greg, please. Once this is. Please wait.
Okay. We wait. It should be. I won't even try. Well, you go. Thank you. Thank you. So, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, my first year as treasurer, and I'm glad to be here. So, the financials for our club looks like this. This is the wrong picture. No, it's good. So, our membership fee for 2019, we had an income of 18,940 euros last year. We had a budget of 21,000 euros. We have an interest income of 3.44 euros. Yay! That gives us an income of a total of 18,943.44 euros for 2019. We were in Amsterdam a year ago in a wonderful, it was a refresher and it was a general assembly, and we had an income from our participants of 30,267 euros. And we also got a contribution from the Dutch Federation of 2,500 euros. We had costs for 40,881.11 euros, which gives us a negative result of 8,114.11 euros for Amsterdam last year. During the whole year, we had expenses. For the refresher, we had 8,114.11 euros. We had board meetings, mostly traveling costs, 5,110.35 euros. We bought, before the General Assembly last year, we bought ties and scarves for 3,742.06 euros. Those are the same scarves and ties that you could buy here this year. Yeah, and Sharon and Laura, you did a wonderful job selling these scarves. So actually this cost is for 2 years. Willem was representing us at the Sports Forum at a cost of 527.80 euros. Our Secretary General gets 800 euros. We have transaction costs for PayPal, for SumUp and the bank, which adds up to 1,591.60 euros. And our website, 747.31 euros. And membership activities, 1,837.74 euros. That gives us a total expense of 19,912.79 euros. In our budget, as you can see, we had prevented 27,000 euros. That gives us a total result of 2019, a negative result, which is 969.35 euros. And then you should take into account that the scarves and ties were about 3,400 euros, which are for the two years. That is all, Mr. President.
Thank you, Anne. Anyone questions? If there are no questions, we can go to our auditors, but our auditors are not live here. We had Nicoletta Verlaan and Jacqueline Schmieder as auditors, but they have other obligations, so we're not here. But we managed to contact them, and they made an auditor report. You received it?
I did receive from both of them. It's not undersigned of them because they are traveling, but they answered by email, and I will ask our Secretary General to read the audit report.
Audit IJOC accounts 2019. Audit Committee, Jacqueline Schmieder, Germany, Nicoletta Furlan, Italy. The undersigned, Jacqueline Schmieder and Nicoletta Furlan, can examine the International Jumping Officials Club accounts for the year 2019. All bills and bank receipts were shown to us. Individual items on the accounts have been checked, and we are satisfied that the resources of the club have been used in accordance with the statutes for the purpose of the club. The financial year 2019 shows a loss of 969.35 euro on the balance on 31st of December 2019 was 67,581.73 euro. Consequently, we recommend the General Assembly to discharge the Treasurer and the Board for the IJOC accounts 2019 with thanks for their work for the club. Prague, January 19 to 2020, Jacqueline Schmieder, Auditor, Nicoletta Furlan, Auditor.
Okay, after reading the report, there is a recommendation to endorse the accounts for 2019. Do you all agree? Thank you. And I also have to ask if you follow the advice of the auditors to discharge the board for 2019. Thank you. Then we come to the next subject. We had the activity plan of 2019. That's what we did. In 2019, we now live in the year of 2020, and we will have the presentation of the activity reports, so the plans we were making for 2020 by Theodore.
If this is IJOC board activity plan, we expect that IJOC will have some board meetings. We already had some board meetings, and once again we will continue to use Skype and to organize board meetings on Skype. Generally, yes, 2020, sorry. The board has decision, the board to have Skype meetings every first Tuesday on the month. Of course, in the summer it's a little bit more difficult, but this is what the board decided, and to have meetings on a regular basis. This will keep the things to go smooth and to be on time with the tasks which we have. Our main goals for the next year, this morning I added, sorry. It's too fast. Yeah. So, this is the plan. Again, priority number one was to be proactive and active during the process of approval of jumping rules 2021. Yesterday, Stefan mentioned that maybe it will be not a complete revision of the rule books, which normally it is after the Olympic Games, but anyway, we will send you a reminder and to send your proposal, and then we will follow the same procedure as last year. And please, also when you receive the AFI proposals, because they are on two waves, first around 1st of July, they send the first draft for proposals. We send them to you, they are on the website, so please check them, and if you have any remarks concerning FEI proposals, you can send us, and on the name of IJOC, we can send them to the FEI. CSS assessment was one of the recommendations of official working group, but there are many other recommendations. I would say we are working very close with FEI, especially with Frank Spadinger and his department. We already made our statement, and we would like to be involved in the process of implementations of other recommendations, including, but not only, rotation of the judges and appointments of the judges. The recommendations, they are published on our website, so maybe you can find them. They are not in IJOC documents on the next section. And if you have some ideas, please share them with us. Discussion with FEI and the other stakeholders. As I already mentioned in our activity report for 2019, we try to have really close collaboration with the other stakeholders. And I will explain why this is important. We already made one difficult but first step, and this is the CSS assessment. Now we, as an officials, we have the position to say, sorry, we made our efforts, and we will continue to make, because every year we will have exams. We already discussed with jumping committee, FEI to moderate a meeting with the other stakeholders, including International Jumping Riders Club, Alliance of Jumping Organizers, and maybe horse owners, and of course FEI, and to discuss the remuneration of the officials. Our sport is becoming professional. It is professional, and we are amateurs. But we would like to propose system for remuneration of the officials. And this system has to be developed, and it has to be agreed with the other stakeholders, because we know how the system is working, and if we propose a system which is not discussed with the stakeholders, it will not work. Because, to be honest, the other stakeholders are those who pay our bills. Nobody expects to become rich as official, but we have to receive money which correspond to our knowledge, our time, and our efforts, and the CSS assessment. It will be not easy. We already had some preliminary conversations with some organizers. We know more or less what is their position. But this decision has to be made together with the other stakeholders. Strategy working group. Next year we will receive their proposals and we will work on it. Re-evaluation of the system of the regional representatives. We really will try to make them more active. We know that we have challenges. It's expensive to come from the other side of the ocean, but we have to provide value to our members. And to provide value, we have to use our main communication channels. This is YouTube. The first is the website, Facebook group, and YouTube and Instagram. We try to use this email correspondence. I hope that you don't accept it as a spam, and I hope that it not goes in your spam folder. But this is what you wanted according to the survey which we ran last year, the year before 2018. Again, we will try our efforts to organize seminars outside Europe, and we already discussed with Santiago Varela to try to organize a seminar for judges, for course designers, to bring them back to the club. Seminars outside Europe, we have special permission to run this kind of seminars like here, like here in Prague, with significant number of people only during the General Assembly. So let's be crystal clear. Very probably the seminars outside Europe, they will not follow this format because this is exception granted by FEI. But we have to identify, and this is your role, if you think that there is a need to organize seminars, refresher, promotion seminars, we can be moderator in the correspondence, and we can try to organize it, or even together with some national federations. So we have to identify the needs. Do we need seminars outside Europe, and how we can organize it, and in which countries? You know that FEI has FEI awards, so we decided why don't we use this format and to promote the good practices and young officials. If you agree, we can try in 2020 to organize our awards. What will be the criteria? What could be the categories of this awards? It's under discussion. So, but for example, it could be the toughest decision. It could be the best young official. Okay, if we don't have age limit, why we have young officials? So maybe somebody will say, what is young, 33 or 34? When Willem asked me, what you mean young? I said 46 because I'm 46. So, okay, but let's keep it open. And the award, it will be not money, cash, because this is cashless event. We don't have cash, so. But it could be a young official to officiate at some nice show. I already talked with Jane, and she can support us to appoint somebody at a nice show. But to be clear, this will be like in the experience program. He will be part of the stewards team or judges team, but he will be extra member. So this will be not one less member. So, and place of the next General Assembly. There are different topics which have to be considered, different issues. So we are limited in the period. January, February, at the beginning, we are a little bit more free, and of course we have to be updated before the active season starts. To have easy flight connections, we need local organizer, or at least somebody to support us, because it's really difficult from other country to organize events somewhere. And that's why we are really thankful to the Czech National Federation and to Bohumil and to Radovan, because they made a lot of efforts to organize this seminar. To be attractive for the participants, it's another issue. Do we need jumping show or not? And here it's a question of balance. We are limited with the shows. Basel, Leipzig, Amsterdam, Bordeaux. These are the shows more or less in this period. we have been, and there we have been a few times at some of these shows. I know that from people who are coming from Africa, maybe it's very attractive day to visit a World Cup class, but maybe for most of the others it's a little bit boring because they are more or less 2 times per month at a show. And then we looked at the European map, and we said in which country we can organize it, and then we saw that all the roads, they lead to one city. So, and then we contact the National Federation of the Italian National Federation, and they confirmed that they will support us with the organization, and we decided the city to be Rome. Okay, you know, Rome is attractive. Just know this is not the place. So because I say it would be very cold there because there is no roof. It's visible. So, but I hope to have nice time because Rome is must city. If you have any other ideas what we can do, you are more than welcome to share your ideas. Even not now, maybe by email later. The dates, they are not confirmed, but we propose the dates to be 19 to 21. Why? Because this week, next year, it's free. So Leipzig is the week before, Amsterdam is the week after. We are already in contact with FEI, because FEI, they have intention to organize FEI course for level 5 dressage judges. If we succeed to combine both events in the same weekend, we will try to do it, because for some people from FEI it will be much more convenient to come and to visit both events. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Theodore, for this activity plan, and the plan has to be executed. So if you have any suggestions about the awards, please contact Theodore with it, and we will take it in our decision process. Ralph.
First of all, I want to thank the board and especially Theodor for all the work, and also Radovan and Bob. They organized here everything. It was absolutely running perfect. So I thank you, I think, also in the name from all other participants here. The second, I have 2 points. I think one is the cost for the General Assembly. I think we should look for something, not always 5-star, 2-star should be enough, from the cost, from the technical environment and so on, that we can keep the cost a little bit lower so that we have more budget for other activities like promoting young officials, that they go to the exchange program, that they got experience, that they have the possibility to go abroad, because I know that a lot of young officials I talk to, and also normal officials, they are disappointed because they have not the possibility to go somewhere to officiate. So we have to promote a little bit more the exchange program, I think. And the award doesn't help. They need the experience, with the experienced judges together. So when we promote take there some money in to promote them, say go there, because the OCs say only, oh, travel costs? No. I take one from Belgium, but it's 5 kilometers and he sleep at home. That's the problem. I think we should more think in this direction to promote the young officials.
Thank you, Ralph. As most of us are also stakeholders in other shows, and it works a little bit like that way. And not all organizers say it's costing money. We don't want that, because if we ask them, a lot of organizations say, okay, let somebody come. But it's true. We have to look into that if we can invest more in that part. But it's also part of our activity program.
When we talk about the organization of these seminars, in the schedules of the events, we have late withdrawals. Last 3 days before the General Assembly, we had more than 10 late withdrawals. The cost was more than 3,000 euro. When we organize these events, because we are not working with our host company or the dinner every week, so they do not know us, and they ask for 100% prepayment approximately. This brings a lot of additional cost to the club. We understand, and we have some exceptions when somebody is very ill and he cannot come at the very last moment. But this is not always the case. Some people are really not very fair. So maybe for the next year we will think to have preliminary payment, because this brings a lot of problems to the club. If you agree with that, because at the end this money they come out from our pocket. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Theodore. Now I come to the agenda point of approval of this activity plan. Can you all agree on this? Now you agreed on a plan, but we don't know if we have the financial means to execute it. And that's why I give now the word to our treasurer with a proposal for the annual fee.
So the proposal from the board, we've had a subscription fee of 70 euros for some years, and our proposal is to keep it at 70 euros a year. Yeah, 170.
Okay. By your applause, I can conclude that you are okay with our budget for the annual subscription. And then we need a budget for the coming year.
We do. No. The budget? And then the next page is not the budget. Yeah. Yeah.
Financiers. Which one, this one?
Greg is a little bit our switch master,
No, we start.
so we have to
Yeah.
go through the different files.
Here's the budget. This is better. So we are budgeting that we keep our membership fee at 21,000 euros. And of course, there will be a huge interest this year as well. Don't you think so? Yeah. So maybe 3-4 euros. I have no idea. We will see. Yes. Zero. So we have budget maybe 0. We don't know. Our expenses for this coming year, we have our General Assembly here in Prague, 5,000 euros. Our board meetings, we still think we will be able to stay at 5,000 euros, thanks to Skype meetings. We will be representing our club at the European Federation, at the Sports Forum, and the General Assembly of the FEI. And that is prevented to be 4,000 euros. Our fee for our Secretary General is 800 euros, as we had last year. We have transaction costs of 1,700 euros. Our website will be approximately 1,000 euros. Unforeseen expenses, 500 euros. And a reservation for membership activities of 3,000 euros. That means that we're having a budget of 21,000 euros for 2020. That is our proposal.
Any questions? No questions? Approval? Can you approve this budget for 2020?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's our switch master again. Now we have an activity plan. We have a budget, so we could move on. But on the agenda is also the number of board members. And we would like your approval to keep the number as we have. 9 persons in the board is enough. And like we did last year, we can also, if we want extra power, we can ask our members to join us in working groups. You all approve on 9? Thank you very much. Then I also want to give a warm welcome to our honorary member, Mr. Stefan Ellenbroek. Thank you. And now we are more or less on the point, the agenda coming, we come to the elections. We have elections. We have four members leaving board members, and we had elections. And to do it in the right way, we appointed scrutineers at the beginning of the meeting here. So the elections have been done, and I would like to ask the chair of the scrutineers, Mr. Kazuya Hirayama, to lead us through this part of the General Assembly. Okay. Frederick Rotterskield will do the presentation.
So, we have a result, we can say. So it's been... Which one is it? Yeah? That one? No. There. No.
Just one click.
Yeah, well, thought I was doing one click.
A little bit sensitive, Frederick.
Yeah. So it's been me, Fredrik Høytvold, and Kazuya Hirayama doing the scrutineer. We have a number of ballots that was casted, and it was 642 votes, and that tailed from 216 ballots. These were the candidates. So if we would then go through each and every one of them, we start with, and this is in order of first letter of the last name. Yeah, exactly, alphabetical. So we have Nama Agmanlich, that got 94 votes, that's 14.6%. We have Sharon, that got 136 votes, that's 21.2%. Ali got 120 votes, that's 18.7%. Charles Maudlin is the next one up. And Charles got 107 votes, 16.7%. And then we have Claude Nordman, got 50 votes, that's 7.8%. And last out is Laura van der Graaf. Laura got 135 votes, 21%. This then results in that elected for 2020 to 2022, that is Sharon, Ali and Laura. And elected for 2020 and 2021 is Charles Maudlin. that's the result, and yeah, we can confirm it was working according to our rules and so on.
So, Frederick and Kazuya, thank you very much for being scrutineer here. I want to like to congratulate Sharon, Laura, and Ali with their appointment for a full term, and of course Charles for the term of 1 year. This was caused by the fact that Carsten is stepping down in his term, so you take over. We had an agreement on that the person with the last number of votes will take over the position of Carsten, and then the re-election will be in 2021. Okay. Do you have my presentation now? Because these are the results. About the leaving board members. Yes. Okay. If we have 4 new board members, we also have 4 board members who are leaving the board. And normally you try to make a speech for everyone, and that's a lot of work. Nowadays it's also very popular to do a roast of a person, if you look at some television shows, but I don't like to do that, because it wouldn't be appropriate for the things they all done for the club. So I was trying to find a way to say thank you in a special way, so that we will remind these members in a different way than just say, okay, thank you, John, thank you, Carsten, thank you, Enrique, thank you, Freddie, for all you have done, and close. So I try to make a little bit more effort, and you can expect that from me, to say farewell. I hope Enrique is at the live stream, because he's not here, but I think he deserves a farewell. So, as you can see, this is Enrique. We all know him. He's from Spain. He was elected as board member in 2014. He's a judge level 3. And he was, in my opinion and my experience, also the host of our first IJOC refresher in Madrid without a competition. And it was a wonderful refresher, super organized, and nobody missed the show. So that's very important. But then, just saying that is, in my opinion, not enough. So I tried to find somebody or something in the Spain culture which helps me to remember Enrique. And I found one person. And that person is Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra. And he's the author of, and I hope, forgive me for my Spanish, El Ingenioso Hidalgo Don Quixote de la Mancha. And he wrote that book, but he wrote many more. And he was one of the founders of the Spanish language. So if you look then, if you compare Enrique with Miguel, it's a little bit, they're all on C2 level in Spanish. It's very important nowadays to be on a certain level. And they both are writers, because we have a lot of creative members in the board. And Enrique was also a writer. He has his own blog. He has his own page, Fit to Compete. And he also writes things about what he experienced at shows. His last contribution was about a water jump judge in the Nation Cup final. So it's always nice if somebody can write a story about that. There are also Miguel and Enrique fighting against injustice. So next time when I think about Enrique, I will also think a little bit of Mr. Cervantes. So give a big hand for Enrique. If he's looking, thank you very much. Of course, we have an award which we will give, but we will give it personally to him at the next occasion that we will be judging together. So that's very easy because Enrique wasn't here. The next board member stepping down will be Freddy Alfred Conrad Ball, also known as Freddy to most of us. Freddy was elected in the board in 2011. He's a judge level 4, and he is our liaison with the Swiss authorities. And you know, Swiss authorities are always a little bit secret. And he managed us to achieve what we wanted with the Swiss authorities. So that's very important. And then I was looking for somebody from Switzerland or an institution from Switzerland who, okay, when I think of Freddy, I do think of what? And I found the Schweizerische Nationalbank. It's an institute for gentlemen, and Freddy is a Swiss gentleman. It's multilingual, it's diplomatic, and it's a little bit mysterious. And you can say that of Freddy also. When he says something, he means it, and he does a lot of thinking before he says something. But most of all, he's very reliable. So I want to thank you, Freddy, for all the years here in the board and the corporation. Yes, I spelled it incorrect, sorry. Now, you can see this is a statue, and there is something missing. There should be, if you look at the others, something in glass behind. But in all the transport we had, it was broken. No, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. No. Okay. But we will give you one with a glass thing. But thank you very much, Freddy, for your friendship and for everything you've done for the club.
You take it with you.
Yeah, but first you have to receive this. Yes? Okay. Thank you very much.
And give it back to Theo.
Okay. Do you want to say something to the members?
Yeah.
Short?
Short, yeah. Thank you very much for being with you, serving in the board. That was a good time for me. And I think I brought also something to the board. I organized 3 times the General Assembly, 2 times in Zurich, 1 time in Basel, together also with Bruno Laubscher. And I made all contacts with the tax office in Switzerland. And I can tell you that each body in Switzerland needs to pay a basic tax to the canton of Bern, where we are registered, and to the Federation of Switzerland. And each of these taxes in each year makes 60 Swiss francs. And we did it since 2008. That means 12 times 120 Swiss times. I paid that from my pocket, and I offered that to the club. That's 1,440 Swiss francs. Thank you for your help, and take care of our club. See the goal of the club, and don't think always on your career. Think on the career of the club. Thank you very much.
You still will be a member, I hope. Yep. Okay, super. Thank you. Which brings me now to number 3, who's leaving, and that's Karsten André Sørli. Yeah, what are you going to tell about Karsten? What we already know. And they're a little bit worried now, I see, but okay, he's from Norway. First I thought he was from Sweden, but then he's from Norway or Sweden or Scandinavian. but he's really from Norway. He's an elected board member in 2009 in this period. So he's the longest board member in this period. I have to be very careful when I say that. He's judge level 4, and he is appointed for the Olympic Games in Tokyo to be judged there. Carsten is very social and diplomatic, and he's also a little bit picky about his how he looks. Once was at the show, and there was a hairdresser in the show, or a hairdresser's office, and he insisted of having his hair cut because of all the photographers. And he had an office at the bank of the show, so that's very good. But then I was looking, okay, from Norway, do we have famous people from Norway who have anything in comparison with Carsten? Because Carsten is kind of unique. But I found a person who is also unique from Norway and who has something in common with Carsten. And this morning at the breakfast, his name already came up in our conversation, but I didn't say anything. Because that's Mr. Thor Heyerdahl. He's very famous. And those two, Carsten and Thor, are both gentlemen, Norwegian gentlemen. They both live on an island. You know, Carsten lives on an island. And Thor also loves islands. And they're all globetrotters. They love to travel around the world. And they do it both based on a passion they have. Carsten for the sport, and I think Mr. Heyerdahl for the traveling. So Carsten, thank you very much for all you have been doing, and a lot of success.
Thank you. Okay.
It's too long. Do you have scissors? No. You want to say something?
Yes, please. Going down the memory lane, I decided to step down in my period because, as we might remember, we put in back in the statutes that you could only sit for 3 consecutive terms, which means 9 years. So that's the reason I decided to step down. I think also it's good that the club get new forces in, new heads in that can bring in new ideas. Even though you don't get rid of me so easily anyway, probably not before I am 6 feet under, but I will be hoping to still contribute in the strategic planning group, so we can hopefully find some ideas how to develop the club in a positive direction. Anyhow, I think these seminars, and the group has already recognized that these seminars with refresher status is awfully important to the club. So I hope we during this year are able to find an agreement with the FEI and find a solution with the FEI so we still can keep this status for these refreshers in the framework of what Frank presented yesterday. So I have good hopes for the club, and you probably see me next year in Rome. So, thank you.